This year, Illinois students faced unprecedented challenges. Throughout the pandemic, ISBE has been committed to the health, safety, and well-being of our students. We also understand the importance of measuring our students' learning. To know how to act, we first need to know how our students are doing. So between March 15th and May 14th, your student Maria, along with other students across the state, took the Illinois Assessment of Readiness. This test helps us understand how students are doing in two key content areas: English Language Arts, or ELA, and Math. Keep in mind that this test is just one measure of your students' learning. You should use the information in this video, as well as what you observed during the school year, in future conversations with your student's teacher. You should have received 2 paper score reports, one for ELA and one for Math. The purpose of this video is to help you understand these reports so that you can support your students' learning. Let's start with English Language Arts and Literacy. Again, the paper ELA report looks about like this. There's helpful information throughout the report, including an explanation of the scores, good ways to use the information, and an in-depth examination of your students' results. The first section to really focus on is here. It shows the range that your students' scores fall into and how many other students' scores are in the same range. Here is the score for your student. You can see that it falls towards the bottom of level 2. In a moment, we will look at areas to focus on to help them improve. Note that many factors impact a student's performance on testing day. For that reason, there is a chance that if they ever took this test again, your student might score anywhere in this range. That includes scoring in level 1. Let's look more deeply at those ELA results. As you can see on the bottom of the page, your students' English Language Arts and Literacy results are made up of 2 parts: reading and writing. Their score in reading placed them here, a little below the state average. And in writing, their score is also a little below the state average. Let's dig deeper. Writing is made up of these 5 areas. Your students' results ranged from the lower level to the higher level. We suggest asking your child's teachers for resources to support their learning in the lower level areas and about finding challenging activities for the higher level areas. Your student's strongest performance was in the areas listed here. Here is where your students scored in the middle range. And they scored in the lower range in these areas. IAR also tells us how your students' performance changed since their last test compared to other students. We call this growth. First, we look at their results from the last time they took this test. That was in 2019. Then we look at how all students with similar results have performed since then, and we compare. Your students' change, or growth, was the same or better than 63% of students who had similar 2019 scores. So definitely better than average. Let's look at Math. The report looks like the one for ELA. Again, you can see the overall score for your student Maria. Their Math score is at a higher point than ELA. It is towards the top of level 3, above the state average. Like we said about ELA, if your student took the test again, they might score somewhere in this range. Math is made up of 4 key areas. Here they are, with definitions for each. Your students' results ranged from the higher level to the lower level. Remember the recommendations about speaking with your students' teachers about their scores in these different areas. Your students' higher level areas were in the following: major content and expressing mathematical reasoning. Their results in the middle range were in modeling and application. They performed at the lower level here, additional and supporting content. Just like with ELA, we learned how your students' math performance changed or grew since the last time. In math, their growth was the same or better than 53% of students whose scores were similar in 2019, so their growth was very close to average. Now let's review what we learned about your students' IAR results. Their English Language Arts and Literacy score was here. Here are the ELA areas they should focus on first. In math, here are the areas they should focus on first. Clearly, the Illinois Assessment of Readiness told us a lot about your student, Maria. Be sure to speak with their teachers about what you learned here, and be sure to click the buttons below to access helpful resources. This school year and into the future, ISBE's top priority is supporting your students in their educational journey, no matter what challenges may arise.